We're very happy to be at the show. We love the fact that it's small and we can spend more time with folks. I also want to thank my dear friend and colleague Ron Resnick, who asked me to come along and bring some good electronics that make these speakers sound good. So he was kind enough to do that. This is Westminster Lab, and it was imported into the company starting a little over 2 years ago. The company's 10 years old. What's special about these amps is that they're Class A amplifiers, and they're monoblocks, of course, and they put out 100 watts into 8 ohms, and they put out 200 watts into 4 ohms, and they put out 400 watts into 2 ohms. And in addition to being relatively small and light, they don't heat up the room too bad. So that's a big plus. And if you want and you need more power, you can add a second set, and that halves the voltage and quadruples the power. So if you're a guy who really has some demanding bigger speakers, but we're powering the Clarisys really beautifully just with the 2 monoblocks. And then we have from Von Schweikert, actually, Damon was kind enough to provide me with a complete loom of Masterbuilt Ultra cables. And these things are just, they're really special. We love them, and they make 3 lines, but I've been using the reference for a long time, and these are the Ultras, and they're certainly contributing to the great sound we're making here today. And then balanced, this is Westminster gear is fully balanced. The amps are DC coupled. We're coming out with the Masterbuilt interconnects. We have like a 30-foot run. And we're coming over here, and forgive the mess with the CDs, that's what we're running, to the fully balanced companion Quest preamp. Interesting thing about these is, first of all, no buttons. So we provide 2 remotes, and it's fully controlled for gain, input, mute, etc. through the remote control. Angus just believes less is more. The preamp internally, every circuit board is fully covered with carbon fiber shielding. The top is carbon fiber shielding. You probably saw some of that on the amplifiers. And this is for the lowest possible noise floor we can get. So we love this piece, and that's the Quest, and of course we've got all the balanced cables. So perfect partner for the REIs. And then when we come over here, my colleague and good friend Fred Ainsley from back east, who's the importer of LampizatOR, was kind enough to support us with the Horizon DAC, which to my ear is absolutely my favorite piece of digital. Yes, it's got a tube output stage. You can do a little tube rolling if you want to go down that rabbit hole. What I love about these is this is digital that, for me, truly sounds like an analog. It's just got this very resonant, rich sound, but without giving up any detail or any dynamics. The only problem I have showing with this is everybody thinks this is the amplifier, and they're wondering what those little things on the floor are. So it's kind of David and Goliath. And that's it. I'm just using my personal CD transport from Heed. And that was fortunate because our streamer is just deciding not to be happy with our network. So we're just doing physical media at the show, and thank God we got a lot of good music, so we can cover most any genre, from jazz to pop to rock to vocals, you name it. So Ron and I kind of collaborated, and we each brought up a bunch of CDs, so we would be okay with that. And that's it. It's a simple system, and relatively speaking, each component is really well suited to one another. So we appreciate Part-Time Audiophile being here, and Ron is enjoying being on the other side of the camera, having to sell something instead of interview me and ask me questions that are curveballs. So I say, I'll call Angus and I'll ask him for the answer on that. Better to say you don't know and ask the expert, right? And that's it. And we're really happy Part-Time Audiophiles here covering it. As we said, it's a small show, but it's just great because we can spend more time with each customer and get to know folks. So thank you very much, Brian.
Hi, I'm Ron Resnick of Audio Cafe in Beverly Hills, and I am Southern California's Clarisys audio dealer. I've been a planar dipole person my whole life, going through a series of Magnapan speakers and Martin Logans, and I have arrived at the Clarisys audio loudspeaker because as much as I and many others love the open transparency of dipoles in the sound staging, I've always felt there's some compromise in terms of the oomph and impact of the lower frequencies, as well as a lightness or a bit of a weakness in the critical crossover region, typically 100 hertz to 300 hertz, upper bass to lower mid-range. These speakers, to my ears, do not require that compromise. And so I hear the openness and transparency of planar dipoles I've always loved, but with the oomph and impact of cones without that weakness in the crossover area of upper bass to lower mid-range. So this is our smallest model, the Piccolo, $20,000. I have at Audio Cafe in Beverly Hills the mid-size model, the Studio Plus at $69,000, and I have adopted this as my personal permanent speaker. So I am representing these only because I own them. I didn't own them because I represent them. I chose to represent them because I chose to make these my permanent personal speaker.
Very cool. Thank you.